There is a secret that many seek outside, in distant places, but which has always been hidden within every human being. It is an invisible spark that pulses silently and, when activated, restores vitality, strengthens the body, and illuminates the mind. This force does not depend on expensive formulas or external resources, because it is born from life itself. What we call youth is not just the absence of wrinkles or time, but the intensity of this energy flow that silently runs through every cell. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to carry a vibrant energy, even as time passes? Have you noticed that certain individuals radiate natural magnetism, while others easily become exhausted? The explanation lies not in medicine or genetics, but in how each person cultivates and protects their own reserve of vital energy. Those who learn to guide it maintain freshness, clarity, and disposition, regardless of age. In ancient traditions, especially among Taoists, there was talk of an essence called Jing. Considered the core of vitality, it was seen as the point of origin of creative force. When wasted, it weakened the body and accelerated aging. When preserved and transformed, it became a source of health, wisdom, and magnetism. This energy did not have the sole purpose of generating life outside the body. It could also be directed inward, nourishing organs, strengthening bones, and expanding consciousness. According to the accounts of these masters, when someone managed to refine this essence, they developed a kind of immortal body. This did not mean living forever on earth, but reaching a physical and spiritual state in which life flowed at levels far above average. This knowledge was treasured and passed down from generation to generation, until it reached us as a teaching of transformation. The most surprising thing is that, while the Taoists describe this energy intuitively, modern science is beginning to recognize it by other names. Researchers analyze the effects of deep breathing, meditation, and energy circulation techniques, observing positive impacts on the immune system, hormone production, and even cellular longevity. What once seemed like a myth is now supported by laboratories, confirming that the human body has much more complex renewal mechanisms than we imagined. One of the most effective methods for activating this force is abdominal breathing. By breathing deeply into the lower abdomen, the body awakens areas that normally remain inactive. This practice oxygenates the body, relaxes the mind, and strengthens the energy center. Over time, breathing naturally becomes deeper and more serene, creating a solid foundation for any transformation. Another essential teaching is to redirect the flow of energy. Normally, it disperses outward, fulfilling its biological function. But when guided back, it travels through the spine, reaches the brain, and returns to the lower center, forming a continuous cycle. This movement, known as the microcosmic orbit, regenerates tissues, increases mental clarity, and awakens spiritual perceptions. It is as if the body is recharged from the inside out, without depending on anything external. These practices, combined with internal massage and mindfulness exercises, create a profound transformation. They require no special equipment or environment, just daily discipline. The secret is not intensity, but continuity. A few minutes every day produce much greater effects than sporadic hours. It is repetition that shapes new pathways in the body and mind until energy begins to flow naturally. The results are not limited to physical health. People who cultivate this energy report significant emotional and spiritual changes. Anxiety decreases, confidence increases, and intuition sharpens. Their presence becomes magnetic, as if an invisible light accompanied their every gesture. This luminosity is not aesthetic, but vibrational, and affects not only those who cultivate it, but also those around them. The secret of youth is not in denying time, but in living each phase to the fullest. Taoist masters did not seek to escape the passing of years, but learned to enjoy them with renewed energy and awakened consciousness. The body may age, but those who cultivate this inner strength remain young in their gaze, posture, and disposition. Chronological age ceases to be a limitation because vitality becomes a choice. This choice begins with small gestures. Taking a few minutes to breathe deeply, smile inwardly, thank your body, observe your thoughts, and redirect your energy are simple actions, but they can create silent revolutions. No great sacrifices are needed, just consistency. Daily practice is like watering a plant. Little by little, it grows, blooms, and transforms the environment around it. Imagine how your life would change if each morning began with renewed energy, if each challenge were faced with clarity and serenity. Think about the impact of living with enough vitality to fulfill your dreams, without fear of exhaustion or burnout. This is the gift that the practice of inner science offers. This knowledge is not restricted to monks or isolated masters. It is available to anyone who decides to look within. No matter your age, profession, or circumstances, everyone carries this invisible source. What differentiates those who awaken to this energy from those who ignore it is simply practice. It is at this point that we understand that youth is less a matter of time and more a matter of energy. Every choice, every thought, every breath feeds or consumes this force. When we take care of it, the body flourishes, the mind clears, and the spirit expands. When we neglect it, wear and tear accelerates. The power is in the hands of those who decide to cultivate their energy. If this knowledge resonates with you, seize the moment. Enjoy this content. Share it with someone who needs vitality, and write in the comments, "I activate my youthful energy now." Also tell us which country you are from, because together we create a collective energy current that strengthens us all. Luminous energy is not a myth, nor is it an inaccessible secret. It is already within you, waiting to be recognized. It is up to you to decide whether you want to awaken it and allow it to transform your life. The invitation has been made. The choice is yours. Once you understand that youth is, above all, energy in motion, it becomes essential to discover how to transform this knowledge into something alive in your daily life. Vitality does not flourish only in the realm of ideas. It requires concrete actions, even if small, that take deep root when repeated consistently. The ancient masters already taught that a continuous drop pierces the stone, and in the same way, simple practices, when cultivated, reshape the body, clear the mind, and strengthen the spirit. The first fundamental practice is conscious abdominal breathing. As soon as you wake up, sit upright and relaxed. Place your hands on your lower abdomen and breathe in deeply, allowing this region to expand. The air should descend slowly, filling you like an invisible balloon, while your chest remains loose and calm. Exhale gently, emptying yourself completely. This exercise, repeated for 10 minutes daily, reorganizes natural breathing, oxygenates the organs, strengthens the nervous system, and creates a state of peace to start the day. Over time, breathing deepens spontaneously, leading the mind to more serene states and the body to a feeling of solidity. The second practice is the gentle contraction of the pelvic region, a training that activates the lower core of the energetic body. When walking, working while seated, or even during breaks, gently contract this area, hold for a few seconds, and then relax. Repeating this 10 to 20 times throughout the day awakens energy that is normally dispersed and strengthens the internal roots. It is as if you were creating an invisible foundation that supports the rest of your vitality, preventing it from being lost to unnecessary wear and tear. Taoist masters claim that this simple discipline activated the lower gate, awakening the natural rise of vital force. The third practice involves internal massage and smiling at your organs. Take a few moments to close your eyes and turn your attention inward. Imagine that each organ receives a ray of light and a smile of gratitude. Then, with warm hands, gently massage the abdominal region, sending warmth and awareness to the inside of the body. This gesture harmonizes internal functions, releases accumulated tension, and transforms dense emotions into serenity. It is a form of silent dialogue with the body, a recognition that strengthens both the physical structure and emotional balance. The fourth practice is the energy circulation called the microcosmic orbit. With your eyes closed and breathing calmly, visualize the energy rising up your spine to the top of your head and descending down the front to your abdomen, forming a continuous cycle. Repeat 9 to 36 times, always at a slow and conscious pace. This movement creates an internal current of light that runs through each cell, revitalizing the brain, balancing hormones, and bringing a feeling of fulfillment. Many report feeling pleasant warmth, mental clarity, and even an expansion of consciousness after a few minutes of practice. The fifth practice does not depend on specific techniques, but on inner listening. It is about respecting the natural rhythm of the body without demanding more than it can offer. When you are tired, rest. When you have energy, move with full attention. This moderation avoids extremes that wear you down and teaches you to live in harmony with your own vital flow. Taoist masters always reminded us that excess creates imbalance, while moderation strengthens life. Wisdom lies not in forcing, but in following the rhythm of nature itself. These 5 practices together create a cycle of constant renewal. They do not require great effort, only gentle discipline. A few minutes a day are enough to begin to feel the effects. A lighter body, deeper breathing, a clearer mind, and a calmer spirit. The secret lies in repetition. It is continuity, not intensity, that opens the doors to true transformation. As these practices become part of your routine, subtle changes begin to appear. The face acquires a natural glow, the eyes convey confidence, posture becomes firmer, and energy expands around you like an invisible aura. People report feeling less affected by charged environments or external tensions, as if they were enveloped in a protective shield made of their own vitality. In addition, constant practice also awakens emotional wisdom. Situations that previously caused anxiety are now faced with calm. Thoughts cease to run wild and align with clarity. A feeling of quiet confidence arises, an inner certainty that it is possible to deal with any circumstance without losing balance. This process also expands spiritual connection. By circulating energy, smiling at the organs, and breathing consciously, the practitioner begins to realize that they are not isolated, but connected to an invisible network that sustains all life. Personal energy becomes a bridge to universal energy, revealing a greater sense of existence. The body ceases to be just matter and becomes a living temple, a channel of light and consciousness. Imagine what your life would be like if every day were guided by these practices. Waking up feeling refreshed, working with clarity, facing challenges without losing your cool, and lying down in peace, knowing that your body has been cared for and your mind purified. This is not a distant promise, but a reality accessible to anyone who decides to take the first steps. So don't wait for perfect conditions. Start now. Choose one of the practices, apply it today, and repeat it tomorrow. Over time, add the others until they all become part of your lifestyle. It's not about changing everything at once, but about allowing small gestures to build a great transformation. And remember, share your experience. Like this content, comment Jactive Mon Energy Vitali, or in your language, declare your intention, and write which country you are following us from. This chain strengthens not only you, but everyone who participates in it, creating a collective field of vitality. Youth, in the end, is not a number, but a state of being. It is not a privilege for the few, but a conscious choice. It is in the hands of those who decide to cultivate their energy daily, with simplicity and consistency. When you choose this path, you discover that life can be renewed with every breath. On this journey, we immerse ourselves in a field of knowledge that has spanned civilizations, crossed eras, and remains alive because it does not belong to a specific time. It is the wisdom about the luminous energy that pulsates in every human being. This force, when recognized, cultivated, and guided, becomes the greatest ally against wear and tear, premature aging, and loss of clarity. The secret is not to freeze time, but to intensify life, expanding vitality until the passing of the years ceases to be a burden and becomes an opportunity for growth. The ancient masters called this principle vital essence. Today, scientists relate it to biological, neurochemical, and hormonal processes. But regardless of the name, its nature is the same, a silent flame that can be wasted or multiplied. When carelessly dispersed, it generates fatigue, fragility, and disease. When preserved and refined, it nourishes organs, strengthens muscles, clears thoughts, and awakens expanded consciousness. The most fascinating thing is that this power has never been out of reach. From birth, each person carries within themselves the energy reserve necessary to renew themselves. But most spend it unconsciously, without realizing that they could redirect this force. That is why Taoists, yogis, and sages have dedicated their lives to teaching methods of preservation, so that every human being could awaken their own fountain of youth. In today's world, the search for vitality often focuses on external solutions: pills, expensive treatments, sophisticated surgeries. Although they bring momentary results, they do not touch the root of the issue. True transformation begins from within, when a person decides to cultivate what they already have. This is the true secret of Kaya Culpa, a spiritual and practical science that transforms each cell into a source of light, each breath into an act of renewal, each thought into a creative spark. This energy is not just physical fuel. It is also a bridge to something greater. When it circulates abundantly, it connects the individual to the universe, opening doors to states of consciousness that transcend common logic. Many reports describe experiences of such profound clarity that they seem to reveal the invisible order of life. Others speak of such intense peace that no external circumstance can shake it. This is the effect of cultivating vital energy. The body is strengthened, but at the same time, the spirit is elevated. Imagine someone who practices deep breathing, inner smiling, energy circulation, and conscious moderation on a daily basis. Over time, this person not only feels more energetic, but also develops natural magnetism. Their presence conveys confidence, serenity, and clarity. They become a reference point of balance for others, as if carrying an invisible flame capable of illuminating the environments they enter. This magnetism is not mystical. It is the visible expression of a body and mind harmonized by vital energy. The ancient masters said that constant practice led to what they called the immortal body, not in the literal sense of living forever on the physical plane, but in the sense of achieving an energy so refined that it remained beyond ordinary wear and tear. This luminous body represented victory over dispersion, victory over vices, and victory over self-forgetfulness. It was the symbol of the union between body, mind, and spirit in a state of perfection. Today, we may not call this immortality, but conscious longevity. And this is entirely possible. Every gesture of care, every daily practice, every conscious breath contributes to extending life not only in years, but in quality. What good is living a long life without vitality? True youth lies in living each phase with energy, lucidity, and joy. This knowledge also reveals that youth is not the privilege of a few. It does not depend on special genetics or ideal circumstances. It belongs to everyone who decides to practice. What differentiates those who flourish from those who fade is simply choice. Those who set aside a few minutes each day to cultivate their energy discover a potential that seemed dormant. Those who ignore it remain trapped in patterns of weariness and confusion. That is why the masters insisted so much on continuity. The drop that always falls on the same spot pierces the stone. In the same way, daily practice irreversibly shapes the body and mind. It doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes or half an hour. What matters is repeating it every day until it becomes part of your life. At that point, conscious breathing is no longer an exercise, but a natural way of being. And here the question arises. What do you want to build starting today? Are you willing to take control of your energy instead of leaving it to chance? Are you ready to live with clarity, health, and vitality, instead of letting yourself be swept away by haste and exhaustion? These questions are not theoretical. They are real invitations to decide how you want to live your next few years. Vital energy is like a flame. If neglected, it goes out. If cared for, it grows, warms, and illuminates. Each conscious breath adds fuel to that flame. Each thought of gratitude strengthens its intensity. Each energetic circulation spreads that light throughout the body. It is simple, but it requires consistency. It is accessible, but it requires decision. The results are inevitable. More willingness to work, more clarity in choices, more serenity in relationships, more confidence to face challenges. The body becomes resilient, the mind calm, and the spirit expansive. This is true youth, not denying time, but transcending its limits through inner energy. Now, visualize what your life would be like if you applied these teachings starting today. Imagine waking up with renewed energy, working without feeling fatigue, facing difficulties calmly, and ending the day in peace. Imagine looking back years later and realizing that while many have worn themselves out, you have maintained vitality and clarity because you chose to cultivate your energy. This future is not far off. It begins with the decision you can make right now. So this is the final call. Practice. Choose one of the methods, apply it today, repeat it tomorrow, and continue until it becomes part of your routine. Don't wait for ideal conditions. Don't wait for external miracles. The power is already within you. The source already pulses within your body. All you need is attention, gentle discipline, and the will to awaken. If this content touched your heart, declare in the comments, Jactivmon Energy Vitali Maintenant. Also write which country you are following us from. This simple action strengthens the collective energy current, creating an invisible network that supports each person who participates. Like this video, share it with someone who needs vitality and help spread this flame around the world. Luminous energy is not a legend, it is not a myth, it is not the privilege of initiates. It is real, practical, and accessible. It is within you. It always has been. The secret has been revealed. Now it is your turn to decide if you want to live it.